entertainment show about all things nerdly. I'm your host, Stephen Davis. First thing I want to talk about is the Apple's WWDC. For those of you who don't know, it's Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference, and this is their 23rd year. Usually they release all their new software, new hardware, and this year was no exception. The first thing I liked from the conference was iOS 6. They updated a bunch of stuff. They have a new app called Passbook, and they also have integrated Facebook into all their apps, which is what they did with Twitter with iOS 5. The most amazing thing, though, is the new Maps. They created their own Maps app. They aren't using Google Maps anymore. They bought several mapping companies and created their own system. iOS 6 will be available sometime this fall, presumably along the same time they release the iPhone 5 or whatever it might be called. iOS 6 will be available for the 3GS all the way up, the iPad 2, and the new iPad, latest generation of the iPod Touch. Another interesting thing that was announced during the conference was the new operating system Mountain Lion. I was not really impressed with Lion, but Mountain Lion seems actually worth the upgrade, and it's actually only going to be $19.99 as opposed to $29.99, so it's actually cheaper. And for me, it's nice because I have Snow Leopard, and Mountain Lion you can upgrade from Lion or Snow Leopard directly to Mountain Lion. I'm going to skip a whole operating system, and it's going to be $10 cheaper than the last upgrade. So I'll probably definitely be getting that. It's supposed to be released this month, in the middle of the month. It's rumored to be the 19th, but no official date has been announced. The last thing I want to talk about is the MacBook Pro with Retina display. I want to talk about it because every single article that I've read about it seems to have a huge, epic boner for this thing. I love the screen on it. It's really nice looking. And they obviously upgraded a lot of the speeds, and the hard drive is solid state, but I really don't understand why it's so great. It's faster than the last year's model. That happens every couple months with computers. Other than the screen, there's really nothing that amazing about it. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with a regular MacBook Pro. Apple is not the only company that had a developers conference recently. Google also had their Google I/O, and that was had some pretty big announcements. One of the major ones was Jelly Bean, the new operating system that's coming out for all the Android devices. It's updated some stuff. It's also faster and smarter. It's got a couple new features. One of them is Android Beam, which is the ability to wirelessly send photos from one Android device to another if you're nearby. Also, another thing is Google Now, which actually is kind of like a competition for Siri. I saw a side-by-side comparison, and it actually did pretty good. And that's going to be on all the Jelly Bean operating system devices. Some devices will be shipped with Jelly Bean, some of the newer ones. Also, the more recent devices will be getting over-the-air updates automatically when it's released sometime mid-July. It's also going to be on their new tablet, the Galaxy Nexus 7. Speaking of that tablet is pretty sweet. It's a 7-inch screen. It's only $199 for the 8 gig and $249 for the 16 gig. It seems like it's a really good device, kind of competing with the Kindle Fire and the Nook, and I definitely want to check it out. Now, Microsoft didn't have a developers conference in the last month, but they did have a press conference to announce a new product, which is the tablet that they're coming out with called the Microsoft Surface. It seems kind of cool, comes with its own keyboard. It has Microsoft Windows 8 installed on it, even though the specs of the device do set it up to compete with the iPad, and it's around the same price, or at least we're assuming it's going to be. However, the apps that come with it that you can download on it, there's not nearly as many, obviously, and there won't be nearly as many at launch as the iPad might have. However, the same could be said for Android when it was announced, and it's caught up recently. Well, that's all for this week. As usual, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and all the articles about what I talked about are down in the doobly-doo. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week.